This is Natalie. She is a 9-year-old in New York City, and she lost 20 pounds in 3 months. The difference is very clearly visible. Her parents were very worried about her health, but now all of their worries are gone. She is healthy, happy, and more confident in herself. All she did was eating healthily and following the methods that I will describe in the following videos. Hi, I'm Alvin from New York City. The coronavirus has affected us all, hurting families and communities. Data shows that many of the more serious victims of the disease have underlying health issues which make them more susceptible to the virus. Many of these conditions are related to obesity. Losing weight now can help make you less vulnerable to these diseases. In our country, more than 1/3 of children ages 2 to 19 are overweight or obese. They might have diabetes, heart disease, asthma, etc. They are restricted from doing sports. They're not confident at school among other children. Some are even bullied or isolated. It also affects their academic performance. I'm sure you're concerned about you or your child's health problems. I hope I can use my knowledge and experience to help more children become healthier and look better. I'm eager to provide the experience, encouragement, and guidance you need to succeed. In these videos, I will talk about some basic knowledge, covering 7 main topics. 1. Why might your child be fat? 2. Basic concepts we must know about weight loss. 3. How much should your child eat to lose weight healthily? 4. Bad and good weight loss methods. 5. Nutrition. 6. Pseudo-healthy foods that you should avoid. 7. Our plan. Firstly, why might your child be fat? There are a couple of possible reasons. Firstly, your child eats too much. Overeating has become the norm for many American families. They've come to love high-calorie fast foods with large portions that contain too much sugar, sodium, and fat. Secondly, poor diet quality is a main cause of obesity. Your child might have overeaten, but at the same time, they don't get the nutrition necessary for their body's development. If you do an analysis of what your child eats, you will find it doesn't contain much nutrition, but instead a lot of junk, which becomes a burden for their bodies. Third, most parents lack knowledge of nutrition. Some parents believe they are doomed to obesity because of genetics, because their parents and grandparents were all obese. This mindset is wrong. In fact, the person who prepares food for the whole family might lack basic knowledge of nutrition and what healthy foods are. That person makes the entire family fat, especially the kids. Most of the time, obesity has nothing to do with genes. Most children and adults are able to lose weight, and I have examples to prove it. Fourth, your child lacks exercise. Physical activity is needed to burn the surplus of calories from junk food. Suppose your child burns 1,000 calories a day naturally. If they consume that 1,000 calories and burn off an extra 200 calories, it will burn off fat. In comparison, if they eat 1,200 calories and don't exercise, the extra 200 calories will be stored in the body as extra fat. Fifth, certain diseases will lead to obesity, such as insulin resistance, hypothyroidism, and Cushing's syndrome. Adults are more susceptible to these diseases. I will explain insulin resistance more in another video. In general, parents who want to help their children lose fat should know what they're doing and avoid bad practices. Instead, it is best to learn about general health so you can help your children do the right thing. Let's move on to basic concepts you must know for weight loss. In order to lose weight and avoid bouncing back in the future, you must be familiar with the concepts of basal metabolism, glycemic index, and insulin sensitivity. These 3 concepts are very important. Basal metabolism is the minimum energy needed to maintain life when someone is inactive. With this energy, a person is able to breathe, sit, sleep, read, or think about life. 70% of all energy consumption is done by basal metabolism. Isn't that surprising? That's way higher than the energy consumed for sports, exercise, or anything else. We know that a higher metabolism equals higher energy consumption. With the same amount of food intake, People with higher metabolisms are less likely to gain weight. Obviously, those with low metabolisms are likely to become fat. Different groups of people have different levels of metabolism. Athletes have higher metabolisms. The energy they exhaust sleeping at night might be more than what you burn jogging a mile. Men generally have higher metabolisms than women. Younger people have higher metabolisms than older people. Fatter people have a higher metabolism than skinnier people, assuming they're the same height. Those who are always starving themselves for weight loss purposes have a very low metabolism. Therefore, it's utterly incomparable to those who eat healthy amounts of food. If you have to choose between starvation and increasing metabolism for weight loss purposes, what's your choice? Many people are interested in knowing how to increase their metabolism. There are 5 main methods for kids. 1. Be more physically active. 2. Have enough sleep. Go to bed by 9 p.m. That way, a child can keep a healthy metabolism and maintain leptin secretions. 3. Have enough protein. Not only can it boost metabolism, it also requires our body to use more body to digest them. This is known as the thermic effect of foods. 4. Have a good breakfast. What kind of breakfast is good? It doesn't mean it has to look good or taste delicious. It should be nutritious. 5. Never cut out carbs. It has a lot of negative effects. Other than a reduced metabolism, a reduced level of serotonin secretion will lead to insomnia. Insomnia ultimately leads to weight gain as well. Now let's move on to the second topic, glycemic index, or GI for short. It is a relative ranking of carbohydrates in foods according to how they affect blood glucose levels. The GI of glucose is defined to be 100. Other foods are rated comparatively with glucose. Carbohydrates with a low GI value, which is 55 or less, are more slowly digested, absorbed, and metabolized. They cause a slower and lower rise in blood glucose levels, which lowers insulin levels. What happens to children if they always eat foods with high GI? First, high GI foods are quickly digested and absorbed. Such foods can last an average of 2 hours. Children will feel hungry before lunchtime at school. It's very hard for a hungry child to concentrate in class. Their capability to memorize and reason will be affected. Moreover, these children will experience low blood sugar, which negatively affects a child's social activities and relationships with friends. Children always having high GI foods usually accumulate a large number of fat cells and become obese. They're more likely to be obese as adults. Kids with high blood sugar will have an even higher blood sugar when they grow up. If children have simple carbs for dinner, foods are digested very quickly. They will have very low blood sugar levels during the night, which affects the quality of deep sleep. Dopamine will secrete after a child eats sugary foods. It builds a dependent correlation between the brain and sugary foods, which is similar to the relationship between drugs and the brain. Children who live on such a cycle lack perseverance and easily give up on things like academics and sports. All these negative influences also work on adults. Now let's continue on to insulin and insulin resistance. Insulin is very important to our bodies. After we eat food with carbs, our blood sugar will rise. The pancreas will secrete insulin to transform sugar into energy that our body cells can use, or to store sugar for future use. Therefore, insulin can adjust our blood sugar levels. We talk about insulin because it plays a significant role in weight control. After a person eats food with sugar, mostly high GI foods, a large amount of insulin is secreted and responds quickly to reduce blood sugar. Excessive amounts of insulin make blood sugar levels lower than normal. At that point, the energy supply isn't even enough for daily activities. People will experience low work efficiency, mood swings, anxiety, and even depression. The surplus sugar is converted to fat and stored in the body. If that person eats sugary foods again, blood sugar levels spike, and the same cycle will play out. Insulin is repeatedly abused until it loses its sensitivity. Ultimately, insulin won't be able to work like normal. With repeated overeating of carbs or sugar, our body cells start to ignore the effects of insulin. and will have to release even more insulin to have the same effect. This is called insulin resistance. Eventually, type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases will follow. That person gets fat and even obese. Fat stored in the liver will even cause fatty liver and cirrhosis. To summarize, we learned about basal metabolism, GI value, and insulin resistance in this lecture. We should try our best to keep our metabolism high during weight loss, if not make it higher. We should choose low GI foods to put in our diet. High GI foods cause insulin spikes, which store fat in the body. We should try our best to keep our insulin sensitivity up. How much should your child eat to lose weight? Overeating can cause a person to be overweight, but on the flip side, starvation is unhealthy as well. Then the question is, how much should a child eat to lose weight? The key lies in a balance between protein and calorie intake. In short, they should have enough protein while limiting calorie intake. Many people exceed the calorie cap while trying to meet the protein requirement. On the other hand, people who stay under the calorie limit do not get enough protein. Parents need to learn how to calculate how much their child should eat. Kids require 1 to 1.5 grams of protein for every 2 pounds of their body weight, or 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. The recommended calorie intake for kids is dependent on their age and level of physical activity. This chart displays the recommended calorie intake for boys and girls ages 8 to 18 at each level of activity. For example, a moderately active 12-year-old girl should be limited to 2,000 calories per day. For children looking to lose weight instead of just keeping fit, the calorie limit should be lowered. Let's take this 9-year-old girl as an example. Take a look at what she would regularly eat every day before she started her weight loss program. For breakfast, she eats bread with sweet cream, scrambled eggs, chocolate milk, and a small apple. Bread with sweet cream is delicious, but high in calories. An egg provides around 6 grams of protein, and it's important for kids to have one in the morning. However, scrambled eggs uses added oil, which drives up its calorie count. Many kids love chocolate milk, but it is very high in sugar. Opt for normal milk instead. It reduces the calorie count by 1/3. She eats yogurt with mixed berries as a snack. Store-bought yogurt with mixed berries is a very common snack, but be cautious. It has over 20 grams of sugar per container, so it's not a very healthy snack. It's a pseudo-healthy snack, which we will talk about later. For lunch, she eats pepperoni pizza, fried chicken wings, and Caesar salad with dressing. The pepperoni pizza is the food with the most calories in the entire meal, with almost 300 calories. Also, fried chicken wings have the second highest number of calories. She knows that she needs vegetables in her meal, which is commendable. However, the added Caesar dressing brings a calorie bomb to the table. She likes to eat cookies as an afternoon snack, but they are quite abundant in calories as well. 2 small Oreos provide 80 calories, a large number for such a small snack, and they do not provide nutrition at all. Orange juice is a classic. However, it has many calories and contains a lot of sugar. The entire afternoon snack is really just loading up on sugar and fat. For dinner, she eats a hamburger, creamy spinach, and baked potatoes. The hamburger is very high in calories again, at 170. Potatoes should not be treated as a vegetable, but rather as a carb. She had too many carbs for dinner. To summarize, she consumed 73 grams of protein and 1,788 calories for the day. She met the protein requirement, but her calories are way over the limit. This is a large part of what causes weight gain. Let's do the math. She originally weighed 107 pounds, was 53 inches tall, and was moderately active. She needs around 0.5 to 0.7 grams of protein for each pound that she weighs. If we use 0.6 grams, she will need 64 grams of protein a day. If she wants to lose weight quickly using my method, the maximum number of calories she can eat in a day is 1,000. She should cut her calorie intake significantly. So what can she eat which can get her enough protein but does not exceed the calorie cap? Her diet changed after starting my weight loss program. Here's what she would typically eat now. For breakfast, she eats steel-cut oats, a boiled egg, 2% milk, and a kiwi. Steel-cut oats are very filling and does not contain many calories. 2% milk is a huge upgrade from chocolate milk. It has fewer calories and less fat. For her snack, she eats almonds and beef jerky, which are low in calories but high in protein. This is a good snack. For lunch, she eats a turkey breast sandwich and salad greens. For the salad, without a dressing, there's a drop in calories, but she still gets enough vegetables and fiber. The afternoon snack became an orange. It's important that it's not the juice, but the fruit itself, as there is no added sugar. Children should typically not drink store-bought juice. Her dinner is a lot more nutritious. She eats skinless chicken breast, shrimp, broccoli and tomatoes, and baked potatoes. The chicken breast is high in protein, and since the skin is cut off, the amount of saturated fats it contains is reduced. Seafood is very high in protein and low in calories. Broccoli and tomatoes vary in color, which represents a variance in vitamins. It makes the meal very nutritious. This upgraded diet provides 67 grams of protein, but the total calorie intake is almost cut in half. This meal plan will help lose weight. After we do the meal analyses, we can draw a conclusion. To lose weight, a child needs to eat 0.5 to 0.7 grams of protein for each pound of the child's body weight, while keeping under the calorie cap. A bad combination of food makes a meal fattening and not nutritious. You can use my meal plan as a framework to plan your child's meals, or consult me to have nutritious and healthy meal plans done for you. Let's review different weight loss methods. A good weight loss method won't harm a child's health. Any pills or injections are not healthy. A good weight loss method should meet all of the following requirements. Your child is supposed to feel full, energetic, and be in a good mood after each meal. They shouldn't feel drowsy. Fat under the skin and around the internal organs should both be burned away. It should cure high blood fat, hypertension, and fatty liver. You might have seen or heard of numerous methods of losing weight. There are many that might show up on social media. However, some of these methods are very harmful. There are things you should never try on yourself or your children. I'm going to analyze some of them and show you what I mean. The first method is cutting out entire food groups and making your child go hungry. Many parents believe carbs and meats are a major cause of overweightedness, so they cut them out of their child's diet completely. Malnutrition, dry and dull skin, hair loss, and grouchiness are the inevitable results of such methods. This type of strict diet also causes digestive organs to dysfunction. Some kids can even get anorexia. Sadly, this method is not sustainable and cannot prevent weight regain. If your child does lose a couple of pounds by this method, they will have to consistently be on a very low-calorie diet to maintain their weight. If they have to be on the same sad diet for their entire life, it will be very unenjoyable. The second method is weight loss via pills and laxative teas. Diet pills and laxative teas may contain ingredients or compounds such as ephedra, sibutramine, rimonabant, etc. that have been banned by the FDA. They damage the liver and kidney. Side effects include diarrhea, agitation, increased heart rate, insomnia, dry mouth, frequent urination, and a damaged central nervous system. Laxative teas cannot help burn fat. Instead, they hasten water loss from the bowels, which can result in an electrolyte imbalance. The third method is with digestive enzymes. Enzymes boost digestion and absorption. They work like digestive pills, but they cannot break down or burn fat. Some of them have nasty side effects, such as constipation, upset stomach, headache, rash, sore throat, vomiting, etc. Some parents replace their kids' meals with weight loss shakes. Shakes have become extremely popular these couple of years. Its greatest downside is a high likelihood of regaining weight. If the only thing your child consumes for the entire day is shakes, the weight will pile back on when they go back to solid food. This has been proven by users. The fifth method is dehydration. Some weight loss methods restrict water intake. What a child really loses is water rather than fat. When a child drinks water, the weight goes back. In fact, water is an important factor in fat metabolism. It helps break down fat and burn calories. Without enough water, that child's weight can plateau very quickly and for a very long time. The sixth method is extreme exercise. Huge amounts of exercise require massive amounts of time, energy, and perseverance, which is something most children don't have. Also, bouncing back is unavoidable. There are many examples of famous athletes getting fatter after they retire, such as Magic Johnson, Diego Maradona, Shaq, Bartolo Colon, and many more. Why? Their level of activity and metabolism become lower after they retire, while their caloric intake exceeds what their body can burn. Meanwhile, their leptin, a hormone which regulates energy expenditure, is not as active as before. They grow fat or obese. As normal people, we do not need to go overboard to do extreme amounts of exercise. What your child needs to do is to create a caloric deficit with a healthy diet in conjunction with moderate exercise. The seventh method is acupuncture. Many people turn to acupuncture for weight loss. The reason this ancient Chinese method can help lose weight is that it can adjust internal hormone secretion, speed up fat burn, control gastric acid secretion, and thus suppress appetite. It does work for many people. Nevertheless, its rebound rate is very high. This method makes a person dehydrated. The body will eventually become hydrated after the process is over. During the treatment, the person will be required to limit food intake. After acupuncture stops, that person will maintain their original diet habits and appetite. Then they will gain back all the weight that they've lost and more. These 7 methods I mentioned could all pose a threat to your child's health. The best method is eating healthy, natural food, which I used to help the 9-year-old girl lose weight. But how can you know if your child's diet is healthy? If your child can maintain a healthy growth when on a diet and doesn't feel hungry, the diet is satisfactory. A good recipe can serve the whole family. Both parents and kids should be able to lose weight, improve their health, and reduce the potential of many diseases.